Good evening. According to recent statistics, it's said that learning English can bring a series of benefits. Among them are improved and widened employment prospects, exploring the world with confidence, opening up a world of entertainment and popular culture, and believe it or not, it can even help you with your problem-solving skills. Today, we are going to learn English with news. In this lesson, we'll understand the vocabulary and structures they use, and you'll take a quiz to check your comprehension while seeing examples of news-related vocabulary from TV series and real events. The news is a great resource because no matter if it's art, celebrities, politics, or any other topic that interests you, you can find new broadcasts that you will enjoy. By watching the news, you improve your listening, boost your vocabulary, and expand your cultural repertoire to discuss the topic you like with actual English speakers. If you are new here and don't want to miss out on lessons like this that help you understand real English without getting lost, without missing the jokes, and without subtitles, then just click on that subscribe button and bell down below to join our community of over 4.8 million learners. Let's start with the word news itself. Generally speaking, news means information or reports about recent events. How would you complete this sentence? The news on channel 86. That's right, the word news is uncountable. That means we use the singular form of the verb like you can see here.
News is news, I'm here to help deliver it, not stop it.
That's why we can't say things like a news, two news, or many news. Instead, you say a piece of news or some news when referring to more than one.
Oh yeah, he's dying. There's no wife and kid, which is great. Makes the breaking the news thing way easier. Oh yeah, one more piece of news. The drug addict is peeing blood.
When referring to a television or radio program consisting of reports about recent events like the BBC, you say the news with the definite article the.
Turn on the TV. I'm on the news, and it's not just a sketch of me.
Now, some very common news-related vocabulary is breaking news. Breaking news is about information that is being received and transmitted about an event that has just happened or just begun. The anchor often announces it by saying, "This just in," when the breaking news arrives once the show has already started.
We interrupt our scheduled programming to bring you this breaking news.
Good afternoon. In the last several minutes, KOB has received dozens of reports.
The verb break can be used when referring to something, information, that has been revealed or become known. Example, the minister has refused to give any interviews since the scandal broke. So it's very common to hear or use the collocation to break the news. When you break the news to someone, you let them know about recent, usually unpleasant events. Here the reporter used an interesting adjective that is commonly heard on the news.
Next to the fallout from that new bombshell documentary on Britney Spears, insiders are breaking their silence about it.
If you describe a piece of news or anything related to that as a bombshell, it's unexpected and shocking.
Okay, I don't know which I hate more. The fact that you're moving away or the fact that I'm the only one that knows about it. Why won't you tell anyone?
You don't drop a bombshell like that this close to a wedding.
No, that's an excuse.
Another common word you'll find while watching or listening to the news is scrutiny. Scrutiny means a critical and careful examination of something to get more information about it.
I'm hoping that people who don't have a voice, who don't have name recognition, will be able to get the same scrutiny in their lives.
Now remember, I started the video as if I were presenting a news program. What would you call the host of a news program? A newscaster, an anchor, a broadcaster, all of the above.
Ted, I'm so sorry. That's just terrible. I feel awful.
You're smiling.
Am I? No, I'm not. I'm a news anchor. Smiling's a part of the job. Thousands died in a tragic avalanche today. See?
Another word widely seen and heard in the news world is correspondent. A correspondent is a person employed by a newspaper or a television station to report on a particular subject or send reports from a foreign country, as we can see in this example.
The government says it is working towards welcoming tourists back to our shores. Our Australia correspondent Shaima Khalil is in Sydney with the very latest.
When introducing a correspondent or a reporter who is off-site, not in the studio, the anchor often says reporting from.
A judge in Los Angeles has now passed control of the estate to an accountant nominated by Britney Spears' lawyer. Sophie Long reports from LA.
In the next part of the lesson, I'll teach you how to better understand and use the news to improve your English. Before we jump into that, just like the news, podcasts are a great and convenient way to create an English listening habit. And you can do it for free on the Real Life English app. It's the only place where you can get a transcript for the full episode and learn all of the important vocabulary and more. Plus, many learners like you tell me that they are frustrated that they don't have anyone to practice what they are learning with. Well, on the Real Life app, you can have conversations in English with people from all around the world at the touch of a button and discover new cultures. So if you are ready to step outside of the classroom and live your English, then download the app now by searching for Real Life English in the Apple app or Google Play Store, or simply click up here or down in the description below. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, watching or listening to the news is a great source of listening input. This will eventually help you with grammar and vocabulary, as they will come to you in a more intuitive way. Listening to English will help you get a feel for the language and build a memory bank in your brain with the words you have seen and heard. That's why you shouldn't worry if you're not able to understand 100% of what's being said. Even when you have the news in your own language, you are still able to understand the context, even if you are doing something else while watching or seeing them. Let's try. You should focus on getting the main message, not on understanding every word. Listen to the news opening and take the quiz.
A Facebook whistleblower has told US lawmakers that she believes Facebook's products harm children, stoke division, and weaken democracy. Frances Haugen has been telling a Senate hearing that Facebook's leaders know how to make their products safer, but won't because they've put their astronomical profits before people. She said that as long as Facebook is operating in the shadows and hiding its research from public scrutiny, it is unaccountable, and she called on the authorities to take action. This just a day after a global outage prevented access to Facebook and its sister sites, WhatsApp and Instagram, for several hours. Billions of people were affected, showing just how dependent the world has become on a company that's under intense scrutiny.
Based on this introduction, what will the piece of news be about? Someone angry because Facebook stopped working, someone alerting about the dangers of Facebook, someone demanding Facebook pays them money.
A Facebook whistleblower has told US lawmakers that she believes Facebook's products harm children, stoke division, and weaken democracy. Frances Haugen has been telling a Senate hearing that Facebook's leaders know how to make their products safer, but won't because they've put their astronomical profits before people. She said that as long as Facebook is operating in the shadows and hiding its research from public scrutiny, it is unaccountable, and she called on the authorities to take action. This just a day after a global outage prevented access to Facebook and its sister sites, WhatsApp and Instagram, for several hours. Billions of people were affected, showing just how dependent the world has become on a company that's under intense scrutiny.
It's important that you get the main message the first time you listen. Then you can start paying closer attention to the language. That's why my other tip to better understand the news is to look at the language used in most journalistic pieces. Understanding the passive voice is essential to getting the message. The passive voice makes things less personal as it focuses more on the action rather than on who did it.
The event, known for spectacular and flamboyant costumes, was cancelled last year due to the pandemic.
In terms of structure, it's quite simple. It's formed by the verb to be and another verb in the past participle. Check out these examples.
Yolanda's community was also hit recently by floods in New York.
Facebook, you'll know, is also used to sign into many other apps and services, so that caused this domino effect.
Also, to protect journalists, sources and the news companies from potential lawsuits, the news reported often makes use of something called hedging or cautious language. These are words or phrases used to express uncertainty, probability or caution, such as verbs like seem, tend, appear to be, suggest, modal verbs such as may, could, would, words like allegedly, perhaps, to some extent. Now listen to 2 short clips from BBC News and try to identify where this cautious language was used.
Lava flowing from the volcano that erupted last weekend on the Spanish island of La Palma. It has now destroyed around 200 homes. And there are fears now that when the lava hits the sea, it could create toxic gases and explosions. Our correspondent Dan Johnson reports now from La Palma.
And there's a risk that this side of the island actually gets cut off by the lava flow. That will probably happen at some point. So we're starting to see how everyday life is being disrupted here, and this eruption is causing problems not just for the people whose homes are directly at risk.
I hope you enjoyed learning all about the news today. If you can't get enough of lessons with your favourite TV series, movies and songs, then make sure you follow us on Instagram because we make new lessons there every single day. Next, to help you better understand fast English, I would recommend that you learn English with this lesson we made on the Real Life English channel. Let's check out a clip from that.
We have some breaking news out of a fast food restaurant in Washington, D.C. An unidentified exchange student was in McDonald's when a team member asked him, "What would you like?" The exchange student was confident because he'd practiced many times before in his head. He replied, "I'll have a Sprite, please." He'd been waiting a while when his name was called.